Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and this video I'm going to be going through the battle phase. Now, it was included in a previous video, but obviously things have become slightly outdated, and obviously the previous video had every single phase in the game, so this is just purely going to be a video just for the battle phase. So, for those of you that don't know, the battle phase is the third phase in the game before the end phase, and unlike other TCGs, instead of you just choosing a unit and then just say, right, I'm gonna send this tower dragon here to attack the battlefield dragon, combat works a little bit differently in Wrath of Cores, which means you get dice rolls, hits, misses, reactions, and so on and so forth. In a nutshell, what basically happens is you add up the attack power of all your units that hit versus the attack power what your defense, the enemy defending units actually roll. So it's very unique to the game because I don't think this has been done in a TCG before. Anyway, so moving on, we've got a game laid out here just purely for a test. And on my side of the board I've got an enraged wyvern, I've got a scouting dragon and a tower dragon. The opponent has got a castle top wyvern, a battlefield dragon and a tower dragon. So my biggest threat is basically this one here, the battlefield dragon, because it's got 600 attack power. So we have just entered the battle phase. Now, at almost any time, and I will point these out, players can play a thing called a battle card, which if you look at the bottom of this card here on screen now, it's got battle just at the bottom of its card type. So battle cards can only be played during the battle phase, in between like the little sub phases, which I will run through. So the very first thing you do before any attackers and defenders are declared, any player can play a battle card. Now I'm going to hold on to this for the time being because of its ruling. So after that first little bit, both players get to choose their attackers and defenders. So I'm the attacking player, so I'm going to be choosing attackers. Defending player is going to be choosing defenders. So you're going to have a line. I've got 3 units in play, and I think that I'm going to attack with the enraged wyvern and the tower dragon. I'm choosing not to attack with the scouting dragon because it's only got 100 HP, so that's just going to pull back a little bit. So then these 2 units here, the N2, are classed as what we call in battle. Some card effects will affect units in battle. Defending player can choose to defend because I've got a possibility of hitting with at least 800 damage here. So you've got 500 damage on this one, 300 damage on this one, and I've got a total of 800 HP as well. So the the defending player only really needs to defend with this one and this one. If he wanted to, he could defend with all 3 if he wanted to, or he could just defend with 1 if he wanted to. It's completely up to him. But in this example, he's going to defend with the castle top wyvern and the battlefield dragon. Now, once attackers and defenders have been declared, both players can then play a battle card if they so wish, and judging that they've got the elements to do so. So, I think I'm still going to hold on to my carry away for the time being. After both players have decided that, the attacking player will always roll first with their leftmost unit, which is going to be this one. And then you would basically work your way from left to right, rolling dice and comparing what each die rolls as and comparing it to the text printed on the card. So I would start with the enraged wyvern, so I get to roll 1d6 and he gets a 5. So if I look at 5, in the middle of the card it's got 3 to 5, which is a standard hit, which means I get 500 damage added to my pool of damage, so I could write up here 500 if we wanted to. Then I get to roll for the tower dragon. Now as you can see, I've not actually distributed any damage as of yet because that's not how it works. The tower dragon rolls. The tower dragon gets a 4, so if you compare it to the card, the tower dragon just hits, just a normal hit between a 3 and a 5 is a standard hit. So then I get an extra 300 damage in my damage pool, which makes that 800. Okay, so I've got 800 damage in my damage pool, and eventually, once the defender has chosen, has rolled for his units, I can divide 800 points of damage worth across the enemy defenders. The defending player then gets to roll before any damage is distributed. So Castle Top Wyvern is his leftmost unit. Don't forget this game is mirrored, so this will actually appear on the left side of the opponent's deck, game area as well on top. So rolling for a Castle Top Wyvern, your opponent would do this. He gets a 4. So it says hit. This unit gains 100 attack this battle. So that unit now is worth 500 points. So he's got 500 in his damage pool. Then he's going to roll for Battlefield Dragon, which is a 5. So 5 is hit. This unit and one other dragon or wyvern you have in play each gain 100 attack for this battle. So that means this will go up to 7 and this will go up to 6. So that's 1300 points of damage in my enemy's damage pool. So the attacking player's got 800, the defending player's got 1300. Now before the damage is distributed, both players can choose to play a battle card. I'm going to choose to play Carry Away, judging that I have the blue element. So retract any one unit from battle before damage is divided. The damage contributed is now removed. So I'm going to send that to my enemy's Battlefield Dragon, which will remove 700 damage from the damage pool. Which means the defender's damage pool is now 600. And then that gets thrown away. So that battle card has changed the tide of the battle, because where he could have had the damage to kill off both my units, he no longer does, because he's only got 600 damage in the damage pool. The total HP of my units is 800, so he can only kill one of them off. So, after that, I've got 800 damage in my damage pool. I can choose to send 800 damage between his attackers and defenders. So I'm going to send 600 damage to the Castle Top Wyvern, which is more than enough to kill it, then that will get discarded. And that unit was actually retracted from battle, so the damage wouldn't actually go to that unit. It would on the attacker's side, any excess damage is actually dealt to the enemy core. So then the enemy core would lose that 200 HP. Normally though, if that unit wasn't retracted, it would have sent 600 damage to the first dragon, and then the remaining damage would have gone to the Battlefield Dragon, because you need to get rid of the defending units before you can damage the core. This unit over here is not in battle, so he will not attempt to block anything. He will just sit there out of the way, shaking his little head. Now the defending player has got 600 damage to choose. So he could in theory kill off the Enraged Wyvern or the Tower Dragon. In my eyes, it would make more sense to get rid of the Enraged Wyvern. That's more of a threat to him, so then that will go. And then the 200 damage would be dealt to the Tower Dragon, but that's not enough to kill it off because it's got 400 HP. So yeah, then at the end of the battle phase, players get one more chance to play any more battle cards if they so wished, and then that's the end of the battle phase. So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. With the dice rolls and the ability to play battle cards, it makes for some really unpredictable outcomes within the battle phase, and that is what I think really makes the game so unique and different. So as well as like the whole damage pool thing where you add up the units what hit, I think it makes for a really fun game, because you could go for a gamble and attack with 2 units, and then if you missed on one of the units, then that's just really sheer bad luck. And it kind of adds a little bit of realism to the game as well, because unlike Magic and stuff like that, units can miss in my game. So they're out there on the battlefield, anything can happen. They swing a sword or something and it just missed the opponent. Things can overreact, so if they roll a 6, then usually you get like an extra added buff onto a unit, or something else can happen in gameplay. So yeah, that is basically the battle phase anyway, so hopefully it was quite easy to understand. Once you've got used to it, once you've played a game, just at least one game, everyone seems to have got used to the battle phases. It's really not as hard as it sounds. But yeah guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the video, the battle phase, any good combination of cards and stuff like that. So yeah guys, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.